Hey everybody, welcome back to 90 and Out. It's been a few weeks, hasn't it? About 3 weeks, I think it's been, since I posted a video on this channel. That's because last week was one of my favorite holidays of the year, Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I enjoy spending it with my family. It's just it's a happy, joyous time for my family. Even growing up, Thanksgiving was a big part of my family this year. We would have smoked turkey. This year, Dad did not disappoint. Smoked turkey is, woo! Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, it's good cold, it's good warm. It's good the next day if there's any left, but smoked turkey is delicious. And my dad does this wonderful slow smoke all night long with it. It's so good. So good. We also had corn casserole. If you don't know what that is, let me know in the comments, and I'll let you in on a family recipe. It's also pretty good. Okay, it's pretty simple, but it's pretty good. Or you can just hang with my family on Thanksgiving and, well, see for yourself. But Thanksgiving is a great holiday because it is one day out of the year, and all the hustle and bustle and gloom and doom, that it's a federal holiday to give thanks, to simply be thankful. And Paul is not going to disappoint us today as we get back into our study of 2 Corinthians. So Youth Night at 6 Points has been on hiatus the last couple of weeks as well due to illness and, Thanksgiving. So we are expecting to be back this coming week, so stay tuned for that too. And, don't take my word for any of this. Pick up the Christian Bible, read it for yourself, study it, and find out the truth on your own. Or you can join us and we can do it together. So let's get done with this intro and get into talking about 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Now, keep in mind, chapters were not in the original manuscripts, the Masoretic scripts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, or any of the others. Ancient documents, they were added in later as a way to reference and study. So let's use them for what their intended purpose was, and that's simply to guide in study. So chapter 10 is where we are at in this video. And if you're familiar with the chapter or Paul's writing in general, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Feed the algorithm for YouTube. I'd like that too. If you haven't subscribed, do so. Hit that bell, all that good stuff. You know the routine. So let's get to chapter 10. Paul starts this section with, "Now I, Paul, myself, am pleading with you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ, who in presence am lowly among you, but being absent am bold toward you. But I beg you that when I am present I may not be bold with that confidence by which I intend to be bold against some, who think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought captive to the obedience of Christ, and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled." Now that's the first section. Let's look at that. Let's break it down a little bit. Paul uses some pretty strong language here. Keep in mind in chapters 7 and 8 and 9, he's talking about money and giving abundantly. He's commending the Corinthians, the Christians there, as well as in all of Achaia, for their offerings, for their joy in giving. He's also exalting them or building them up to give even more. And then he says, now I'm pleading with you, meekness and gentleness, lowliness. Not sure where this language is coming from. It might be back hearkening to that bitter letter that he sent before, or the last time he was at the Corinthian church where he came down on him like a big sledgehammer for, well, screwing up. I'm not sure, but he transitions to the spiritual, and he relates warfare. Carnal, meaning physical, natural, strongholds. Right now in 2020, in this current year that we live in, there's people who want to control other people. I know, it's hard to believe, but it's true. Personal liberty, freedom, all of that, we're getting told by the mass media, we're getting told by elected officials, government officials, hey, you can't make decisions on your own. We know better for you. So do what we tell you to do, and it's all going to be good. I follow another content creator on YouTube named Viva Fry. He's a lawyer from Canada, and during the height of this these shenanigans about 6 months ago, he dubbed this, so I'm giving him credit for it. It's called My Sharona Cyrus, as a way to skirt around YouTube's algorithm with certain words. So My Sharona Cyrus, it's just kind of catchy to relate it. And any of you watching this right now as it's new can relate. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got several different viewpoints about wearing different things over your faces and where you can go, where you can't go. Are you going to have a big family get-together? Are you going to just stay home and hide in your house? Those kind of things. We have certain government leaders that aren't doing what they preach. It's a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. And probably wondering where this is coming from, where I'm going with this. Well, Paul had to deal with that too. And his way of dealing with it was putting it in the spiritual world. We wrestle in the spiritual world. We need to pray for our leaders. We need to respect the law. So you can't respect the law if you don't know the law. And that's not just the law that's coming down from Harrisburg. That's not just the law coming down from Washington, D.C. That is natural law and the laws of nature's God. So if you don't know what those are, hang out with some wildlife and you'll probably figure it out, or you'll end up with their lunch. Because that's how the natural world works. There's order to the chaos. So Paul starts this section of the letter out by saying, hey, sometimes I get pretty bold, but I don't want to be that bold with you, that forthcoming, that blunt with you, because we have a different relationship. Paul always comes back to that personal relationship. And he says, hey, look, we may walk in this flesh, wear these clothes and what have yous. We may do that. We live in this world. There's a line in a Marvel movie. I think it's one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But Star-Lord and Rocket are having this exchange. And it's kind of funny because at one point in time, Star-Lord says, why do you want to blow up this rock? Why do you want to, or half the universe, I think it is, something along those lines. Why do you want to do that? And Rocket Raccoon says, because people are buttholes. And Star-Lord's response is, yeah, but I live in this universe. I love the line because that's really what's going on here. We walk in the flesh. We live in this world, but we don't have to war. with this world. You see, the war's already been won. And Paul knew that. I know that. And you can know that if you don't already. All we have to do is fight the good fight. So Paul goes on here. We're going to continue. Do you look at things according to the outward appearance? If anyone is convinced in himself that he is Christ's, let him again consider this in himself, that just as he is Christ, even so we are Christ's. For even if I should boast somewhat more about our authority, which the Lord gave us for edification and not for your destruction, I shall not be ashamed. Lest I seem to terrify you by letters. For his letters, they said, for his letters are weighty and powerful, but his bodily appearance is weak, and his speech is contemptible. Let such a person consider this, that what we are in word by letters, when we are absent, such we will be in deed when we are present. Now, Paul is not saying he has all authority, and we're going to get to that here too. For we dare not class ourselves or compare ourselves with those who command themselves, but they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise. We, however, will not boast beyond measure, but within the limits of the sphere which God appointed us. A sphere which especially includes you. For we are not overextending ourselves as though our authority did not extend to you. For it was to you that we came with the gospel of Christ, not boasting of things beyond measure, that is, in other men's labors, but having hope that as your faith is increased, we shall be greatly enlarged by you in our sphere. To preach the gospel in the regions beyond you, and not to boast in another man's sphere of accomplishment. But, quote, he who glorifies, let him glory in the Lord, end quote. For not he who commends himself is approved, but whom the Lord commends. So, Paul is talking about authority here. Paul had a lot of authority in the first century church. He commanded a presence. And he's telling the Corinthians, he's reminding them, you know, I've been on you. I've been on your case a lot. And there's definitely some people in your church. There's some talk. There's some gossip going on that, man, he writes good right. But, when he gets here, he's a spineless, yellow-belly coward kind of thing. And if we relate that to today, it would be like social media frenzy, right? There's this common conception that people are harsh online. If you don't believe me, just look at some comment sections, okay? But are they that bold when you're face-to-face? Probably not. But Paul says, you know what? Most people shy away from this conflict. Most people, you say I'm bold, I'm in your face, coming down on you hard in a letter, but when I show up, I'm going to be this little puppy dog. No, I'm going to still be the guard dog. That's what he says. I'm still going to be that guard dog. I'm still going to hold you to task and build you up. And sometimes when you build somebody up, you gotta get them to let go of whatever's holding them down. Okay? And a lot of times that's painful. We don't want to do it. So here's where I'm going with this in today's climate. Okay? We had an election at the beginning of December. There's pretty much 3 groups of people as far as I look at it. In regards to election, there's one group of people say that it was the best election ever. It went off without a hitch. Woo, yeah, woo, 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 woo. Yeah. Why can't you guys just move along? It's all good. And then there's camp number 2, which is, You guys are low-life, dirty cheaters, and nothing went well, and it all bad. Okay, and then there's the third group of people, and I would probably be in the third group. And the third group says, you know what? There's some inconsistencies. There's some things I don't understand. There's definitely some things that rise to suspicion levels, but let's let the due process of law take hold. And again, you got to know the law to respect the law. So what's the law say when this stuff happens? Oh, well, this is what it says. Well, then that's what we need to be doing, and let it sort itself out. And I guess there might be a fourth group, and the fourth group is, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Which brings me to Thanksgiving. It's really hard to be gloomy and bloomy and down on yourself or the world and be thankful. There was a period in my life where I read this couple of chapters in 2 Corinthians, where Paul talks about a cheerful giver and being happy and positive and counting your blessings, and how sometimes what Paul's authority is, and for we dare not class ourselves or compare ourselves with those who commend themselves. And he's saying, basically don't have the mindset that your crap don't stink, okay? No one-upping kind of thing. And I was really depressed. I mean, really depressed. And God spoke to me with these. He who glorifies in God, he who glories, let him glory in the Lord. That's referencing the Old Testament, by the way. And anytime I get blue or down, or I see the world falling apart around me, I just start counting my blessings, and my whole attitude changes. And I don't know about your attitude or how you do things, but it's really hard to be depressed and thankful at the same time. Okay? For not he who commends himself is approved, but whom the Lord commends. I don't want to make you happy. I don't want to make anyone on this planet happy. I only want to make God happy. That's it. Okay? And if that means I step on people's toes, then you know what? I'm going to step on their toes. Because I came to the conclusion and the decision a long time ago that if I'm going to stand, I'm going to stand on the truth. And if I'm going to fall, then I'm going to fall onto the truth. Wherever the truth is, that's where I want to be. And I strongly encourage you to be likewise. So, thank you for watching this video. If you're still here, if you're still watching, I commend you, because I greatly appreciate it, the viewership. But also, and you haven't done so already, there's this button that says subscribe and a little bell next to it on YouTube. If you could check that, that would be great. I'd greatly appreciate it. Last I looked, I had about 49 subscribers, I think it was. So I'd like to grow that more, okay, and reach more people. And if you could help with that, that'd be great. You can share this video or any of the playlists. If there's something you want me to cover, let me know. As always, I don't want you to take my word for any of these ancient documents. I want you to read it for yourself. And if I can help you in searching and discovering the truth, so be it. If you can help me, that'd be awesome too. So, as always, don't take my word for it. Get out and read it for yourself. May God bless you. Have a good one.